All right, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is the end of August right now, and I'm out here in the whitetail woods, believe it or not something I normally do. The season's officially kicked off. I just got back from the first hunt of the year with Jamin Davis. It was my archery mule deer hunt. I got a great buck, I'll show you a picture, but we have a whole film coming out about that in a few months. We're just gonna do a bunch of editing on it, so it's gonna take a little bit, but it's gonna be sweet. I'm excited to get it out to you guys. We had a few days after the hunt to drive around and glass for some whitetails, which I've never done out here before, and Jamin's a huge whitetail guy. And last night we found like a bunch of bucks, a bunch of does, a couple of like really nice bucks out like literally 10 minutes away from where I live, which is super crazy. I've never thought about hunting whitetail before, but we're gonna go throw up a couple cameras. Jamin's kind of my guide. He's helping me out. He's gonna teach me a little bit about whitetail, how to find sign, where to put cameras up, how to judge the wind, tree stands, all that stuff. And we're gonna do like a little series this year. I don't know if I'm gonna get out and actually hunt some whitetails, but I'll at least put in some scouting and some time learning them and see what we can find. So this first spot that we're going to right now, it's a couple miles out from the road. We spotted a stud buck out here last night. I'll put up a video that I got through my binoculars last night. And we're just gonna throw up some cameras and see if we can find him. I only have one of my cameras with me right now. So we're gonna go throw up the camera, and then here in a couple months, we'll check it and check back in and show you guys kind of what we got. But I want to show and have Jamin show you guys like kind of what to look for when you're setting up some trail cameras for whitetail, because I have no idea, so I'm learning, and you guys can learn along with me. So let's go see what we can find. We've got a little ways to go to get back in here, and we'll see kind of what sign we can find, and see if we can even find this buck. But we're gonna go glass for him again tonight if we don't see him in the place we think he's bedding, and just see if we can find him and get some good footage of him. So we'll see what we can find, and see what kind of sign we can find, and get some cameras up.
So as we're coming up just through the edge here, you guys can still hear the road. There's a whole bunch of old scrapes all up and down this edge of this little body of water and kind of the creek bank. And you'll find any sort of pinch point that is made just like this here, where it's kind of swampy here on the edge of the river. And then turns into fields and feed over on my left. So these bucks will run the edge, especially during the rut, and make all these rubs up and down. And this is what we're gonna look for. We're gonna look for fresher stuff than this, but as we get farther down, I'm sure we're gonna find more and more sign that's even better than this. So it's a good start, and honestly, I wasn't surprised. We were gonna find stuff instantly. We saw so many deer yesterday, but yeah, just a great start. You grid search, so like instead of just walking straight to where we wanna go, like I'm gonna just walk like this all over the place, because it's a little bit different. You're not gonna be able to glass the bed. You're gonna have to like look over, and it's like, oh, there's a bed 10 feet away. You won't see it unless you're walking through it. So as we come through, we're just gonna, the places that are relatively easy to get to, we'll just kind of walk through quick, find something good, cool, mark it. If not, keep going. And then if you do that quick enough, you can find places that are like, oh, I'm gonna spend more time here, and I got 2 deer beds over here. All right, that's a good spot to bed. So maybe a more mature deer, if we've got deer bedding here, he's gonna bed back in this stuff. If we don't find any beds here, don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Yeah.
So one of the first places I want to go check is that fence line, because you'll be able to see where the deer are hopping the fence. They usually do it in the same spot. So if we can find where they're hopping the fence, we'll mark that down and see if there's any beds underneath these big trees. So that's a cool pinch point over here, but it's easy. You can set a tree stand up on the edge and you'll have 40 yards both ways. You just covered 80 yards. Here it's a little bit harder because it's a lot more area. So we want to find, this is where we want to focus for now. If you just have an afternoon hunt, you can come in here, sit the river bank, and if nothing comes by, then you know you're good. here you could sit down here, but the deer are moving through just out of sight. So we want to kind of focus on areas that are a little bit bigger and are a little bit more difficult to scout during season if we don't have time now. We had a deer walk through here last night. See that right there? That's a little trail that they're coming through. So remember what those bucks were doing? The little 4-pointer and that 6-pointer?
Yeah.
So were they hanging out right on the edge? It's kind of like what they were doing. Where we just walked through is like this opening where it's really thick just before we get to where they might come to feed. So in the grass here you can see there's a bigger area that's more matted down. If you look down the edge, you can see there's a trail that runs down the edge of the field, the edge of the fence line. But this area, it's just got a little bit more activity being matted down. And there shouldn't be any cows over here. So anything like this is gonna be from whitetails down in the valley. So we're gonna keep working our way down and see what else we can find. Another big thing with whitetails is take photos, because you're gonna set a pin and then you're gonna forget what it looks like in there. So when you're going through scouting, if you add a pin, it doesn't matter if it's a trail, a bed, a scrape, take a picture of it and save it. And then when you go back there, or if you're gonna do some e-scouting in the same area, you can just look at your pin, look at your photo, and it'll help remind you of where everything is. So great little tip, I guess, that we do a lot back east. Deer right here. So it's still right here. Just look at this side. We're not gonna be able to see it, but so we're coming down this fence line and there's islands of timber down on the river bottoms. And just like we were talking about that last spot, we were coming up on another opening where the river bank, you can see where like the water had kind of flown up and it kind of did like a gradual rise up against the field. And you can see this grass we're standing in is head height. I'm 6 foot tall and this stuff's up to my head. And this deer was bedded right on the edge of it. So you took what is seemingly standard grass all the way across, and there's your transition from short knee-high habitat to head-high bedding. So a place where that deer could see what was going on relatively, could smell, and you had a safe place to go and disappear into. So great spot. Now we know, hey, potential deer bedding right here. We'll mark it and save it. This is where he was bedded. Isn't that wild? How much different it is from the deer we were hunting last week?
Yeah.
Like, if you come sit down in here and look at what he can see like 40 yards, maybe.
Yeah.
Way different. So, we're just coming across where we just spooked that deer, like, I don't know, 50 yards away, 60 yards away. As we're coming across following this deer trail, which if Logan grabbed a clip of it, it's a deer highway, I guess. Super deep, nice and super defined, and comes right next to another deer bed right here. And whitetails, they like to have cover. They don't want to be seen. The mule deer we were just hunting, they were bedding thick stuff for sure, but they wanted to see. They wanted to be able to see everywhere. These whitetails, if this deer was bedded here, just like this, Logan could be standing at the opening of the trail over there and I wouldn't even see him. But the whitetail, he's gonna rely on his nose and his ears while he's bedded, more so over his eyes. This goes along with that whole rub line thing we were just talking about. You can see there's a deer trail that runs this like open bottom, it's dry river bottom, and there's a trail that runs straight up by it. It's not heavily used right now, but in the rut, bucks will run by this tree rub up and down on it and keep going. So this is a great spot for the rut because you can clearly tell from the sign we've seen just along this trail that the bucks will run it in October and November when they're starting to rut. And there's so many deer here that you sit in any one of these trees here and you're gonna see these deer come by. So that's pretty cool though. This is a really good scrape. You can see it's like buried down into the ground. It's like 3 inches deep. So these deer, they come up, they scrape away at this thing. It's been used for a long time. So that's a great sign. So this is like one spot where we might set that camera, because even though it's not necessarily near that buck's bed, he's gonna come hit this a lot. So as we keep going down, I think we're almost to the end of the spot, but we're gonna keep looking. If we don't find another spot better, this is probably where we'll set it. So we're gonna set the camera here at this scrape that we just found a little bit ago, and we're just gonna go through, flatten everything down so that the camera's got a good view, at least of the scrape, and get the trail cam on the tree, lock it, and we'll get out of here. We blew it out pretty heavy because we went through this entire piece. So we blew out at least 4 deer, maybe more if we didn't see them, but definitely 4. So this evening, when we come back and look, we're probably going to be looking at deer coming out the other side over here, to my left on the western side of the field. So we'll see what we find.
Time for a snack. Jamin showed me these Bobos, whatever. They have all sorts of flavors, and they have like big bars that you can take hunting, but these things are so good.
Done. All right, whenever you're ready to close it up.
What do you think? Looks good.
Take a look here. I think it looks pretty good. Clear view. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, there we go. Trail camera is totally set up now. We got it on the video mode, so it is gonna be recording some videos. We're gonna give it definitely probably a month and a half till we come back and check it. The archery season here actually starts in a couple days, but I don't have time to hunt it until like late season. So we just got this one up to see kind of what's here and just have some fun. Jamin, obviously he knows what he's talking about. He has some great knowledge on these deer and just hunting whitetail deer in general. So if I don't get anything, it's his fault. And if I do, then Jamin's pretty awesome. So just messing with him, but pretty sweet. Now we're just gonna kind of look around, see if there's any places to set up some tree stands and work our way back to the car. And then we might go check a couple other spots tonight. But other than that, we're just kind of hanging out and seeing what we can find, and then we'll glass for some deer in some fields tonight, and probably go check a couple other places and just for fun and just see what we can find. So it's been fun so far. But thanks, Jamie, for helping find a spot.
You got it.
Sure.
And you guys here out west have whitetail hunting so easy. So if you're not whitetail hunting already, go out and set some trail cameras and go hunt, because you've got so many deer. You're gonna find some. I mean, last night we found 7 bucks.
In like an hour.
Not even, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of deer out here. I just never have really had a desire or time to go hunt them, and might as well, because I'm already living here, so yeah, pretty fun.
Oh! 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 Oh!
About 6 point. Always funky though. Here's a 5.2 on one side. Nice buck. You recording right now? This audio? Well, it's about too dark to keep glassing, but we found the big stud buck we were trying to find tonight. And so after we found him, we came around, drove, checked a couple other places, and we just barely found the last buck of the night, probably, unless we see something else. But not a bad buck. So pretty good. Pretty stoked about what we got, and got a camera set out. Got some more areas just kind of scouted out to look at closer to season and into next year. So it's been fun, but thanks you guys for watching. We'll have a bunch of more films coming out the rest of this year. If you haven't checked out some of my other stuff, go check it out. We have a lot of good stuff out on the channel already. Also, the podcast, there's episodes coming out every week, so don't miss any of the episodes. We have some awesome people on, and just really excited. I love doing it, so I'm always excited to share the podcast episodes with everyone. So thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you guys next time.